Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Green Addicts Live. This is the show where we talk about efficiency in all areas of life, business, happiness, pursuit of, and all of those good things. We got Mr. Bradley Crenshaw here with us, co-owner and CEO of Green Addicts, and the one and only Mr. Russell Cade Lewis.
Yes, sir.
The co-owner and COO.
The coup.
The COO, the
COO.
COO.
I was wondering what you were saying.
Yeah.
With coup.
He's a cool guy.
You're the Keo. I'm the coup.
He's a cool guy. How's you guys' morning starting off? You good?
I think it's a beautiful morning, man.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily cool outside, but it's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it's fantastic. What about you, man?
It's always beautiful.
I heard you inhaled some breakfast tacos.
Faster than you can believe. That dude was hungry.
I even eat efficient.
He
I was
does.
just about to
Yes.
say that.
He does.
With
Yeah.
with efficiency.
We sat down. I don't know how many words came out of his mouth, but I'll tell you, I looked, and the tacos were gone. I mean, minute and a half, max.
Where did you go?
Fuzzies.
Oh.
Breakfast tacos.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some of the best.
Yeah.
You know what I really love? Velvet taco.
I'm going to tell you, I just got turned on to the Velvet Taco
Yeah.
last week. No, 2 weeks ago with Juan, who was here last week.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was so good.
Ridiculously
I
good.
know.
Over the top good.
And we're not even advertising for them. I'm amazed.
No, not at all. But I'm going to make that call as soon as we're done.
I'm telling you,
Be like,
Velvet Taco.
let's get this endorsement deal. So we want to dive right in. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about work ethic today and the importance of never giving up in a direction for not only taking care of yourself and taking care of your family, doing the things that you have to do, whatever's necessary, doing whatever it takes to take care of your needs and make sure your family's needs are met and stuff like that. And your background, Russ, I mean, you are the epitome of hard worker. And I want to talk about all that stuff today.
Well, let's talk.
And what that looked like for you in the early years, kind of dive into how you were raised, because how we're raised really determines kind of a lot of how we think and believe, which creates a lot of outcomes. So tell us a little about your upbringing and the, I guess, values that you were instilled with that gave you the work ethic to get to where you are today.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, it really comes from my dad. Which, I mean, what kid doesn't get to learn from his parents for how he's going to do, how he's going to work and what his daily life is going to be like. My dad taught me, you do whatever it takes. There was a lot of business ventures that he had gone out and really tried to go whole hog for these big, adventurous, amazing things. And man, sadly, they were failures. And we actually talked about failing forward, Brad. About not letting that define you. But yeah, they were big failures. But what he did, we never went hungry. We always had a warm place to eat. We always felt loved at home. And man, he moved furniture for, gosh, I think like 12 years or something like that. Have you ever moved furniture?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, not too long ago.
Whether it's your own or
Yeah.
someone else's, you don't want to do
No,
it.
it is not fun, especially when you're moving to the fourth floor of an apartment.
Yeah.
There's no elevator. You said something about failure, man. Thomas Edison has a quote. He said, I never failed. I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work.
Well, isn't that the truth?
Love that mentality.
I found a lot of ways that
Lot of
things
ways.
don't work. But yeah, that would be where the work ethic, I would say, that began, because he just taught us. It was you really don't get to use the excuse to say, well, I don't know how to do that. He said, well, I never knew how to do anything until I did it. So
Right.
Get out there and learn. And that was what came from my dad. I would say that's of all the things that kind of shape and direct. That was probably the earliest that really stuck.
So is your father, did he continue on that path of great venture and finally land in his place? Or
I wish I could say that, but he didn't. He ended up working really hard, man. He ended up working for me for several years for Green Addicts, and which I'm grateful for the part that he brought, because honestly, he brought in a humor and a whole different aspect that wasn't there. So
Now, would you say that no matter what, this is a very important element, I believe, for just life success. Would you say that he stayed grateful throughout the process, even though he may not have achieved what he wanted to do?
I'll say not only did he stay grateful, but he never gave up. literally until he passed away. Actually, in just this Friday it'll be 1 year ago.
Oh, man.
Yeah, sad to have that day come around. But I'll tell you, he never gave up, all the way until he finally ended up leaving the earth here. But I'll be forever grateful for what he imprinted on me, and I know my brothers as well, and my sister, on work ethic.
Now, was he your initial push into starting your own company? Because you weren't always self-employed.
No,
You were working for someone, or
man, I'll tell you.
how did it kind of all come together?
I'll say I got a good picture of what self-employment looked like years and years ago. My older brother started mowing lawns. Started for my grandfather, and then I think his neighbor, and then it just kind of grew a little bit. So I actually would. My older brother's name is David. I'd tell him, I'd say, well, I'd go and blow the leaves off, and I thought I was supposed to get a whole bunch of money for that. I had the easiest job, and I really was too little to even hold the blower, get over there and do it. But no, I thought I saw early on that, hey, you can make money for yourself, So actually, as we grew a little bit older, he did, end up doing his own lawn company for a while, and I helped him out with that. I also helped him out with a furniture moving company.
Did you?
Yes, that was less than exciting, but necessary to make things happen for for daily life and family and all. Moved on to serving tables. I think, man, everybody should serve tables out there. It's
I completely agree.
Yes. Tell me why.
I completely agree, and it's you never. I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
Off and on throughout. I believe if you have a personality, it's something that you need to do at some point,
Yeah.
just to make ends meet. But man, just meeting with people and meeting people every day and the things that people complain about, I believe you should not be able to go to college until you wait tables for 6 months first.
Talk about gratefulness.
Yes, I think that should be a law. Like when you graduate high school, you have to wait tables for 6 months or you cannot go to college.
Yeah. $2.13 an hour, man.
Man, I think we would have a society of different people.
I believe you're right. Absolutely.
100%.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
way that some people think they can talk to servers just blows my mind.
Man, it can be a thankless industry, I believe.
Yes.
We tip, and I mean, anytime I go out to eat with Brad, I love our business meetings when we get to go out and have a little bite.
Yeah,
There's never a time that the server doesn't get a tip.
right.
And I've been out at the table with plenty of people out there, and just in the past, oh well, they did a crummy job. Well, I'm not going to tip them. Really?
Yeah,
Man, that's hard work.
yeah.
And you got to sit your butt on that chair, and someone else brought you your food and brought you your drinks. Maybe the salad dressing wasn't just right, but
And you just never know what people are going through. That's the interesting thing. Like when I was a server, I would always be the server that would try to encourage my coworkers to have a better perspective on
Yeah.
things, and no matter what, deliver good service, because you don't know what people are going through.
yeah,
At all.
you don't.
And a perfect example of that, I waited tables at Cheesecake Factory for a while in 2013. When I first moved back from LA, and I was in a state of depression myself because what happened in LA, and I was waiting on this couple, and I'm not going to dive too far into this, but I was at the computer. I'll never forget. I was at the computer, and her and her husband were sitting just on the other side of the computer, and I was kind of dancing and singing, like all in a good mood while I was putting in the order. And she looked at me and she goes, "What are you in such a good mood for?" I mean, I was like, "I'm just grateful to be alive, man."
Man, and I tell you,
And-
that's good.
And I was so moved by that. I went and told every single server, when you get a chance, go by that computer and just put in your order all happy. Maybe we can brighten this lady's day.
Yeah.
And I saw she kept getting irritated. Every time someone would come and put the order in, she was just like, "Arr," scowling at him. And I'm like, something's deeply going on with this lady.
Yeah, probably so.
So I went and grabbed a slice of cheesecake, decorated the plate. I wrote, "Everything's going to be all right," in chocolate syrup around the plate. And right before I delivered the check, I wasn't even waiting on this table. They weren't even mine. Right before I delivered they were about to leave, I slid the cheesecake in front of her, and I said, "Everything's going to be all right, ma'am."
Wow.
And she started bawling. She had just found out that morning she had terminal cancer.
Oh, wow.
And it was then that I realized, like, dude, you never ever realize.
We just had the conversation on the way here when we stopped and ate those tacos.
Yes, we did.
That you got to show people grace because everybody's going through something.
Yeah.
every single person out there is going through something, and you don't know what that is. So you've got to be able to show people grace and be able to be compassionate. And something that I have to work at daily is being compassionate.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. I'm 100% with you, and it's hard. For me, I don't know why it's hard for me to show compassion, because I don't know, somewhere deep inside of my soul, I know that we create our own reality with our attitudes and our perspectives.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just like, well, dude, just change your attitude and your life will be better. I don't want to hear you complain. Go get a therapist. And that's my. I've told a friend that before, dude. Save it for the therapist.
You know what?
I don't have time
But I'll
for
tell
it.
you, it's like we were talking. There's different personalities. Maybe you've got an easier bend to go, to operate this way. Some people maybe were just more compassionate, naturally. But you know what you need to do. You know what's right.
Yeah.
And maybe some people don't see it right off the bat. But man, being compassionate, having a gratefulness, man, that's a big part of being in our business that we're running, man. We're not out just to go and and install a product and give them a thumbs up,
Right.
And then we're done, man. We're changing the person's home,
Yes.
We're making a comfortable life for them in there, and man, it's not just about the money savings. It's about the whole process when we're there. Actually, we did some work on a friend of mine's house just 3 days ago, I think it was. He sent me a text, and mind you, I haven't talked with him a whole lot over several years, but he called us up and had us out there. Man, he sent me a text message letting me know how grateful he was that the guys were doing good. Said, man, I'll be praying for your business. I hope it just does,
Was it Mr.
really well."
Henderson?
It was.
Yeah, his windows are in manufacturing right now. I just
yeah.
called him a couple days ago, and his windows will be ready the end of this week. I saw that text.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, the home's already feeling so much more comfortable. I
Yeah.
cannot wait till these windows go in. So, you know how my dad is. My dad's way over the top excited to get these windows in.
That's cool.
And make this huge difference. And that's really, really cool.
But it's impacting more than just the energy efficient bill.
Yes.
It's the person.
But going back to what you were talking about earlier
Yeah.
on work ethic, has everything just been about work ethic? And does the work ethic create automatic success for you? Or is it something that, have you always been successful at everything that you do? Or have you had your ups and downs and, and so on? So, you talked a little bit about your dad.
Yeah.
But can you kind of start back there and bring us up
Yeah.
to speed on that?
Yeah. So I mean, as far as ups and downs go, hey man, I don't care who you are, me especially. Plenty of downs, ups always. I love celebrating. When my dad was around, call him up and celebrate. Because sometimes you feel like there's certain people you can call them that celebrate the victory on something. Some people may you may call them want to celebrate the victory and they feel like you're I don't know, squashing them.
I call that small-minded.
Yeah.
It's small-minded people.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
But man, I love celebrating victories with other people. But I'll tell you, the failures, man. When we first got into this industry, actually, I was working in a warehouse, and I got a friend of mine. He hired me on in this industry for another company that another friend of mine owns. Friend now, I didn't know him at the time, and man, I worked with them for I think it was about 3 years. And there just came a point in working for that company that, man, it was slow. What didn't have enough money to make ends meet. So he said, man, I got to let you go. I said, man, I understand. I said, I'm gonna. I finished out that week working for him. Keeping a good work ethic because he's a friend of mine. Love the guy, and want to finish that out and do right by him. And he made me right by paying me when the money was there. Several weeks later, but that's when we started Green Addicts, and that first year was not easy. I was, I was selling stuff out of the garage. In fact, we were even knocking on doors, going out just trying to get whatever we can for contacts. Getting, hey, can we take a look at your attic space? Doing Craigslist back then. Not a whole lot of Craiglisting going on now, but that first year was rough. And then even at that point, somewhere in there, we got our trailer stolen, which had the whole insulation rig.
Oh, no.
You want to talk about knocking the wind out of your sail, man?
Oh, yeah.
Because, small business is small, but that was really small, and it had everything in it. The insulation machine, I had just bought some new brakes for the trailer. That was all sitting in the back. So, I was excited about getting things going, and we had just paid it off. and then boom, knocked that out.
So what did you do at that point?
Yeah. Well, at that point,
when work started, if you had work but you didn't have the equipment to do it, do you just automatically say, well, throw your hands up in the air, I can't work anymore, I'm going to quit, like most people do
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
hit tough times? Or
Right.
did you push past that point and figure out a way to make the business continue on?
that's exactly it. Because I knew this is the crossroads.
What
I
was
thought,
your mindset at that point? Like when that happened, how did you take it? How did you handle it? How did you get through it?
I'll tell you this. When that happened, the trailer had been at the office for probably 2 days. It was maybe a 2-day lull where we didn't have anything. And I went up there and I was completely blown away. I thought, where's my trailer? Because I would keep it at a storage facility locked up, At least I had the brains to do that. But
You are Einstein.
yeah, well, let me tell you. So the trailer was kept up there, and I thought, hey, it's all safe and everything's good to go. I showed up. I thought, talk about, like I say, wind knocked out of your sails. So, man, I just contact the authorities, get that whole thing going. But I'm talking with my wife, and we're literally reevaluating, saying, all right, this is it. Are we gonna push through this? Do you want to do something else? I thought, this is what I know, and this is what makes sense to me. And part of what I love about this whole industry is I don't ever feel like I'm having to push something on somebody. I'm going into a home, I'm saying, we can improve your place, like this. We can help your home to save, this money. We can make your home this much more comfortable. And it never feels like I'm trying to really sell,
That's because you do a very good job at adding value to every single appointment. We've been on appointments together. And we say around the office that when value exceeds price, people buy. It's
Yes.
not that people buy from companies, and we say that all the time too.
Yeah.
It's people buy from individuals. And you've got to show the value in that process, like Russ does. And he does a very good job at building the value with the customer. And then when it gets down to it, it's like, okay, well, when can you do it? It's not, well, I have this other bid and it's $1,000 cheaper. It's, no, I want to do business with you guys because you spent the time to build the value that was needed. You did things that these other companies didn't do. You went to the back portion of the attic. You inspected everything, and Russ does a fine job.
Yeah, he really does, and it's the process. The process definitely outweighs the product because there's a lot of people that have the same type of product, but we're the only ones that do it the way that we do it,
That's true.
and that is a good key point that we definitely like to touch on, to take the time to explain how intricate our process is.
Yeah.
And that's what people are paying for. My dad says it all the time in Windows. He's like, we're not the most expensive, but we're not the least expensive either.
Yeah.
But the process, the attention to detail, the way that we do things exceeds expectations.
Yeah.
So that's how you like to approach your business, and that's why it's successful. That's why you are successful the way that you are.
But I'll tell you, and we experienced, a steady growth through the years, a little bit here, a little bit here. It never went backwards, which is awesome. I thank God for that. It's in the word he talks about, bringing us from glory to glory. And I believe that's what he's done and continues to do just because he's so faithful to us, but I'll say also, the vision of the company wasn't really super defined for a while. We knew we were going into a home to make it energy efficient. We knew what to do to make it energy efficient. But quite honestly, man, that laser focus, that came in roughly 10 months ago. When this guy over here popped in the
Jason
picture.
Bourne popped in.
Yeah.
Once Mr. Sniper over here popped in with his rifle.
And I'm telling you, it's funny how that works out. And I think we mentioned it on one of the shows, but I just want to say again, when that conversation happened, it was, man, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting him to say, hey, man, I'm going to make an offer to, buy this company from you. And I was thinking in my head before we had the conversation, I'm thinking, hallelujah. I thought I do love running this company, and I love what we do. But, there comes a time if you don't have a good system in place and you keep doing what you've been doing and you don't make the necessary changes for whatever reasons, man, it gets to the point where you're thinking, I got to do this again.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to buy the company. He wanted to partner up, and he wanted to get take something that was a good an excellent product, and a good thing going, and make it amazing. And that's where we're right in the middle of it, man. It is so far from over. This is this train is rolling.
Oh, yeah.
down some straight tracks.
It goes back to vision.
Yes,
It's vision and being able to see things before it actually happens.
Yeah.
It's like, I coached girls softball for 18 years, and I used to pull my girls over to the side before they would go up to bat. And I would ask them the question, where are you going to hit the ball? Well, I don't know, coach. Where are you going to hit the ball? Well, I don't know. I need you to tell me where are you going to hit the ball. I'm going to put it out there in right center field. Perfect. It's the vision.
Yeah.
They get up and get a base hit. They may not hit it directly to right center field fence, but they're going to get a hit. And that's all about creating the vision and being able to see the things before they actually happen. And that's what I did whenever I met with Russ in Green Addicts and saw the foundation that was laid. And at the time, I was extremely happy where I was at. I was running another company here as another partner there. Was extremely happy with that, and we just kind of had a falling out. I probably would still be at that position. And Russ, we even talked that Russ was going to come to work over there with me there. That was where I first met him. He interviewed with me over there.
Really?
And I mean, when he was sitting in an interview, hang on just a minute. He's putting in his ears, answering a phone call. I'm like, okay, dude, my time is a little valuable here. And he's like, man, I got to get this. I'm the only one, operating here. He was doing everything. And I saw the frustration on his face. So I knew either he was going to come to work here, where I was at that present moment, or God was going to lay something out, in which that's what he did.
Yeah.
We had the falling out. It was 4 or 5 months later, and then Russ and I had the conversations, and that's kind of, we're the direction we went. So it all worked out great.
That's really cool, man. And that visualization thing is where it's at. Michael Jordan calls it the basketball court of his mind.
Oh yeah.
Thomas Edison called it the workshop of his mind. Henry Ford used the visualization tool to create the V8 motor. People told him that's impossible, but he saw it in his mind over and over and over and over and over again, and he put together a crew of people that could bring that vision to life for him. I don't know if you know much about the Henry Ford story, but he was suing a newspaper because this newspaper called him an ignorant pacifist. And he was suing them for slander. And they this is going back to the mind and the visual stuff. But they took him to court, or he took him to court, and they put him on the stand, and they were asking him all these questions, and they were trying to prove that he was an ignorant pacifist because he did not have an education. So they started asking him questions about the war and about history and who won this and who won that. And you're like, who won the War of 1812? And he's like, oh, probably the person that had more people at the end.
Yeah.
So he said, let me tell you something. Why on earth would I waste my time with worthless knowledge when I've dedicated my life to the manufacture of automobiles? And any answer that I need, I have a row of push buttons on my desk, and I can summon any man to my aid with the appropriate answer. Because he saw everything first,
Right.
and just put those people into place. And that's where it's at right now.
And that's actually exactly the type of system that Bradley has brought in here. We've sat down at interview after interview, and the different people that we've got in positions right now, it's amazing. I mean, you've had the comment said to you, how did you assemble this team of generals?
Yeah, they called it the Spartans.
Oh, the Spartans. That's what it was.
Said you have assembled a team of Spartans, and that's one of my connections with John Maxwell. Me and him was going over some things and looking at some dish reports and so on. He said, you have assembled a team of Spartans. And I said, well, I would love to take credit for that, but I didn't assemble that team.
Yeah.
Every single person that's here, they have a story. And it's a story, and I hate the fact that we didn't get to dig into Juan's story when he was here last time. I want to have him back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because his story is very impactful on how he got here as well. And every one of us have a story on how we've all come together and how God's plan is unfolding in front of us. And I think it's absolutely amazing.
It is amazing.
It really is. The people that sit around that table on our Monday morning meetings and how everything flows, and everyone's got their own personality and their own thing that they bring, and it's amazing. It's a family, and I wanted to touch on you said you told me that at one point you were trying to do the social media. You were doing everything yourself.
Yeah.
You were wearing like 42 cool hats like that one.
Yeah, they were nice ones.
Yeah, but some of them were a little tattered on the
Yeah,
edge. You're like,
couple
what
were.
is going on? Where's the relief? Oh my gosh.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
So, in the trenches of that, I know God is the rock, absolutely, and that's how you pull through.
Yeah.
And at some point, it's so tough. Did you ever just want to throw your hands up and say no more, or did you
know,
always fight?
I would say often I had that thought come in my mind, not just a little, because man, you just get to the point where you think, do I have enough left in me to get this done? But that motivation, man, that's my family, you know.
Yeah.
It's not just me myself, because man, if it was just me myself, I might go get in the van and go live down by the river. It's possible.
He was overworked, because we've had the conversation on that as well. He actually said he was planning on getting through this summer, and then he was looking to find something else to do.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
he was that overworked.
Yeah.
With trying to run the business.
Wow.
So
And it wasn't because, it wasn't like, oh, I'm being the martyr, I'm overworked. No, man, I didn't know how to get past that hurdle, of not wearing all that. I tried different things. I tried to get, some marketing going, and man, I've hired some really crappy companies out there for marketing, I've wasted a lot of money, but I'll tell you what I learned over and over was, okay, so that wasn't right. All right, well, let's do something else, and never giving up. And that motivation, like I said, being my family, and really not even just my own family. Love my 3 boys, absolutely adore my wife. But man, my workers, no matter if it was back then or even now, they are like my family. I mean, that's how much I care about the livelihood, and how, how well things are going for them as well. Because I don't feel like, I don't sit up on some throne, man, and cast out the orders, do this, do that. Nuh-uh. We're a team, and we're gonna make this thing amazing, and everyone's gonna get the benefit, and it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
Well, I will say it's not gonna be a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I agree.
It is absolutely amazing in this present moment. And,
Absolutely.
and the impact that this company is making on people and their lives. And we've got some really cool programs rolling out to help people that may need an attic makeover that can't afford it.
That's
and,
gonna be fun.
And we're going to be doing some rollout stuff to help those people and get those services done
yeah,
for no cost.
Stay tuned. October 1st, that'll be rolling out.
Yeah.
October 1st it's rolling out?
October 1st, the attic makeover nominees we'll start receiving those. More information to come, but just kind of a little nugget. It's October 1st.
That is awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
Are we talking about once a quarter maybe? Can we touch on that, or is that too soon? Once a quarter?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Man,
giving back?
really giving back is it's so exciting. If you're just tuning in, if this is your first time tuning in, I get so excited I stumble over my words.
When they go to this screen on you, you look so large.
I'm very large and
I mean,
charged.
look
with
like
protein.
you look like you've been at the gym eating a little protein.
Dude, I got
working
scoliosis.
out. Look at that.
Scoliosis, baby. E-swoli. I ate some spinach and got E-swoli.
No.
Oh, yeah. So this is Green Addicts Live. This is Russell Lewis, the one and only. Give me some knuckles. Boom. The energy efficient Einstein. We call him E3.
I'll take that E3.
Oh, yeah. E3 all day. Big Daddy. Bradley Crenshaw, CEO. This is a lot of good stuff. Stay tuned. You can find us on Spotify. Add us to your favorites. Apple iTunes. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
And we're gonna bring a lot more cool, good messaging to you. And yeah, stay tuned.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
y'all.
Later.